Hello. How many times can you say the same thing? Hello, my name is Michelle, and today we are doing books that will self-destruct in 12 months. I have chosen these books for a variety of reasons. Well, mostly one reason, which is that I've had them for a long time. So I've chosen 14 books. So that is more than one book a month if I'm wanting to finish them. And you're all like, Michelle, aren't you trying to read all those other books like in 2021 that should be one a month? Yeah, but I like setting goals. I am a goal setter. So anyway, we'll just get into it. If I don't read these books in a year, I have to get rid of them. I have to. So what is today? Today is June 21st. So June 21st of 2022, just prior to my 26th birthday, these books will either have to be read or gone. Book number 1, 1984 by George Orwell. I have had this since freshman year of college, which would be 7.5 years ago. Because I borrowed it from a friend who then moved to California. So I never got a chance to give it back. And I still haven't read it, which is just freaking sad. I do really want to read this, although I have recently heard that it is a ripoff of, I think possibly an author of color, but who is surprised? I should relocate that book after I read this book, and then read that book, and then compare. The next book I have is Such a Pretty Fat. This is by Jen Lancaster. I definitely started this once. Yeah, I got 23 pages in. You can see my dog here. I had found it funny, but in a sort of like, I might forget everything that this book is about way, but I do want to read it because it's by a fat lady, and I'm fat. Then I have The Deadlands by Benjamin Percy. This I won because I was one of 5 finalists in a short story writing contest in college, my sophomore year. So I've had this only 1 year less than I've had 1984. And this is a fantasy. Oh my gosh, when the world began to fall apart, when the flu mutated and millions began to die. Fortuitous. I probably only haven't read this because I technically did not choose to pick it up, even though it does sound interesting. It doesn't sound like a book like that I would dread reading. But I didn't choose it, they just gave it to me. So maybe that's why. Then I have You Don't Know Me, a regular on this channel. I have had this also for years. That is the common theme. However, the reason, copyright 2001, I probably got this in high school. The reason that this is on this list is because I have tried to read it twice, and it was the book chosen by the Bookshelf Scavenger Book Hunt in a video I did like last summer, which, surprise, surprise, I didn't read it. But I really, really just need to get this out of my life. Then I have The Woman in White, which I've also had for a while. I actually would debate taking this off this list because this is kind of a classic, so it's a little intimidating. Okay, boy, it's 500 pages. I'm taking this off the list. This is not self-destructing. I've changed my mind. Moving on, we have Telling the Bees by Peggy Hesketh. I don't know if you just heard my roommate sneeze. Bless you. Bless you. October of 2014, so I was still in high school. And I definitely was being ambitious, like looking in the adult section, because I just didn't even, not that I wasn't reading at that level, but I didn't even know where to start. And I think this might be a little more literary than that. And I got intimidated by the fact that it's a slow, meandering book. But I do want to read it. And I think if I don't read it in this year, I'm never going to get to it. So it really should go. Then we have the Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Hayden. This was a gift from my dad, which so is The Woman in White, which is why I know how long I've had these books. And this, when he got it for me, I was like, he got it for me because there's a dog in it. But it's pretty famous, and so I feel a little bad, but that's brought me back around to like, oh, maybe it's actually good. Then we have Midnight Jesus by Jamie Blaine. This is a bunch of, I don't think they're short stories, I think they're connected episodes of one guy's life of him talking. I don't think it's the late night psychiatric crisis guy. Is this nonfiction? I think it might be actually nonfiction. But it's so about just him meeting different people and talking to them about their lives and their stories and stuff. And my mom read it and she thought it was just okay, I think, which makes me a little hesitant. Next, we have The Soul Thief by Charles Baxter. This I have had since my sophomore year of college, so 6 years, I think. And it's a YA, which I'm just moving more and more away from. So the more I move away from YA, the smaller the box of the YA that I want to read gets, if that makes sense. And I'm not entirely sure that this is going to be in it much longer. So, you know, again, if I don't get to it this year, then clearly I'm never going to. Then I have Eye Contact by Cami McGovern. This I've also had for a very long time. I want to say maybe since high school. Came out in 2006. So it's very possible I've had this since high school. This I've always been interested in, so I don't know why I haven't read it. Maybe because it's kind of a mystery. An autistic boy witnesses a girl getting kidnapped. And so it's about the police force and parents and stuff like that discovering different ways of communicating that work to get the information out of his brain. So it's about accessing that to save the girl's life, which I find very interesting. Then we have I Capture the Castle. This is one of the books I'm supposed to read with Sabrina. So really, I actually only have 5 months left on this book. So this should be one of the first ones. But this one I've had for a while, and I don't even remember what it's about. Then we have Subliminal by Leonard Mlodinow. I don't know. I feel like I've maybe showed this on camera before. This has, can you see that? The print on it. It's in clear glossy letters. So it says, "Psst, hey there, yes you, sexy. Buy this book now, you know you want it. Best-selling author of The Drunkard's Walk and your all-time favorite writer." So it's a subliminal message that you're not consciously getting into your brain, but you actually are. And I find that very interesting. But it's closer to like self-help nonfiction than it is to like true crime memoir nonfiction, which is the nonfiction I tend to stray towards. So I haven't picked it up because it doesn't feel like one of those books that would be easy to read all the way through. But it's time. It's time. Then we have So Sad Today by Melissa Broder. This one I've also had for a long time. This one I also started, looks like I was 30 pages into it. These are essays about darkly funny, brutally honest, grapples with sex, death, love, low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, addiction, and the drama of waiting for the universe to text you back. So just like all shit that I like. And I remember it being clever, but also, yes, emotionally impactful. So I do really want to read this. And the last one, which I think that I will pick up soon, is called The Secret of Lost Things by Sheridan Hay. I can see exactly where I tore the sticker off and didn't do a very good job, and probably where I tore another sticker off here. But I do believe that this possibly may be the book that's been on my list the longest. It's about a bunch of misfits that work in a bookstore. So what more do you really need to know? So there we have it. The once 14, now 13 books on my read these in 12 months or they will self-destruct list. So these videos are okay. You know, you'll watch it, you'll tell me, you should tell me which ones, TBH, I don't know if any of these will have been on any of your TBRs, except maybe 1984. And the curious dog of the incident in the nighttime. But the more interesting part will when I come will be when I come back in 12 months and tell you whether or not I've read them. So yes, thank you for watching, for participating. Tell me if you have any books that you think should self-destruct in 12 months. And have a good day.